Good afternoon to everybody watching this video. It's not important that I mention my name, but what I have to address to the nation is very important at large. So, good afternoon once more. Happy Youth Day. Kodi for Msepela. Happy Youth Day. Kodi wonse Msepela out there. Happy Youth Day. So, I'm here to talk about two things. I want to talk about the government, and I also want to talk about the youths. The future leaders. Chibemba chilanda ati imiti kula empanga. But I'm sure most of us are mistaken to other terms ayabalanda ati imiti kula yako chela kwa marasha, which is not right at all. So, to begin with, I'll talk about the youths in a way in a sopano as an example of the youth. I feel as youths we ain't doing much. We ain't doing much such that every time ngakwabo bulema we want to point at the government. Government this, government that. Yes, we can point at the government. I'm not saying we shouldn't point at the government when things go wrong. But I feel we've not committed much of our time or ourselves into running the affairs of the government. And I'm sure some of you are now asking yourselves, how can I interfere into the government affairs when actually I'm not even working in the government? Therefore, you won't. So, we are the youths. We need to advocate for ourselves. We need to speak for ourselves. That's why sometimes I feel these appointed youth advocates, they don't do enough. I feel they don't speak on our behalf. They are not doing much. Yet, they run by the titles, I'm the youth advocate and all that. But I feel whatever that they've been doing or whatever effort that they've been putting in is not enough. I feel they are not doing much for us youths. So, coming back to us youths again, guys, we've succumbed ourselves into a lot of vices. We've indulged ourselves into a lot of vices. So I feel we ain't doing much as youths because most of our time is stolen. Much of our time is gotten by these vices that we've involved ourselves in. In some areas, walasanga tingabwa chafe, ama yitsocho bayishiba, kuingira mufe, bakolwa, balelonde kabushku. Drug abuse. Drug abuse is very common nowadays among youths. Tabaletina no kuishiba okwebat, impact inshikwete kubumi bwandi. All they want to do is leave that moment. They ain't everybody perfect there. It hangs there. Forgetting about tomorrow. So, drug abuse, alcohol, guys, not forgetting sex as well. Because I feel youths of nowadays, the only things that they know, the only things that they are good at now is sex, drug abuse, and alcohol drinking. Guys, let's reflect on our lives. Let's take it this way. Don't you think you leave no time for yourself to reflect about the affairs of the nation? Oh, is it because every time to blame our government and all that? Should it be that way? Quite okay. I'll come to that point where I feel the government should be blamed for that. But for now, as youths, we need to work on our immoral behaviors. Beer drinking, we don't drink, most of us don't drink responsibly. I stand here as a youth to speak on behalf of every youth out there. So, I'm not here to attack you guys. I'm not here to attack any youth out there, but I'm here to speak on behalf of you guys. I feel some of you are less privileged to address issues like this to the nation, but I'm standing firmly and I feel I should talk about this and how I feel the government should help us in particular. So let's keep ourselves away from drug abuse, alcohol, and sex, because at the end of the day, so how about we get ourselves more concerned? So having talked much about creating time for ourselves, and do something productive at the end of the day, because we need to create time for ourselves. We sit down as youths, we unite together for youths, unite. Besides waiting for ama NGOs pushing besides waiting for the oppositions to push us, give us impia olanda pali chiyo kabye ni mutobe tafya kwate uyo finish today work shafe kunuma all the time. So let me not waste much of your time. Let me drift and talk about the government. A government, you've not been doing enough for us youths. If you are not doing enough for us. Morning. Quality programs you can, launch like employment you have created, and they don't require you much. They don't require you much, in as much as I'm talking about employment level more involved. Let's talk about poultry. In particular, let's talk about chicken rearing. Chicken rearing, it can create employment at different levels. You set up a poultry, wa government mwebene banchende takwabifya kushite nchende mwatu pere nchende mwapanga kabungwe, you put somebody to run and represent for my youths abakukulya, you put nchende paka watu amba chicken rearing kwa babali in charge of ukule making sure inkoko shali efya kulya inkoko bale shipera menshi inkoko light intensity mulya iri bwino provided kwa bana bakwe bati nga ishirenko konga shafika te mature level pakwati kuti washitisha nomba. There are those individuals that can take care of by making sure bafula and also making proposals to these foreign investment. There are some institutions that have come, foreigners to run business in our country. Food centers like Angry Lion, Galitos, a lot of them. Why can't you come in and make proposals to them? You say we'll be supplying kokokulimu in large amount of quantity. Tukana supplying kokokulimu, and once we'll be supplying kokokulimu, if we are conveying information in a proper way, because at the end of the day, foreign companies are pillar tax. So now you create a scenario where you tell them only when you buy from us, percentage tax. What are you doing? You are enticing them to fall into your contract. It's more like you're coercing them, but not really coercing them, but you're enticing them to fall into your contract as a government. But at the end of the day, when I start employing, I'm a youths, because you've created employment at different levels. I'm a youths, abali responsible making sure inkoko na shukula bwino, abali responsible kule fufula na abala ba transportation kule twala different employment yaba created. That was just to mention if you into from them what government has not been doing. There's a lot. But not forgetting Kolanda Pali education standard in Zambia. The education standard in Zambia is very poor. This is the reason why we have individuals operating in hospitals, clinics, other institutions, but they have no passion for the job that they're doing. It's because the system that has been created for us is that kind of a system where you just acquire the knowledge and you start working and it ends there. But without having the passion for what you're doing. Most of the employees out there, they don't have the passion for the jobs that they are doing right now. They are in those arenas or programs or because they want to survive, but not really having the passion for the job that they are conducting because of the education standard in Zambia, which is very poor. In some other countries like Congo, what has been put in place is a system where if a person reaches grade 7, in line with the careers, it could be more than one. Now, in our country, only when you reach grade 12, then you go to school. If you determine career, not really what you want within yourself, but if the results that you get are not impressive, nishina career wakwete yawa shuttered down. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's poorly done. Tabaibika bwino. Kwali baba ko bat bala pasa bwino, but they don't need to become doctors or nurses. Some people have dreams of becoming pilots. Some people have dreams of becoming politicians, great politicians at the end of the day. But ama dreams yalafwa, all because of the education standard that we have in our country. They wait for the government to decide for them what to do. Their results determine what they will do, not the passion that they have. And mind you, the passion matters for every program that you are into. So they need to create education standard that once a person reaches grade 7, fit in line, associating with the ideas of the career that person has. Because understand if into because once you start at as area as grade 7, you find out to say by the time you'll be reaching grade 12, you've built the interest. Passion na ikula. Not where you just reach grade 12, then you go to tertiary level of education, career. Bambi tuisanga fema careers, not really knowing, is this what I wanted to do? We just find ourselves into those programs, or because of we want to survive. So the government should as well look at the standard over in place, and find a better way of implementing it, so that it's not just about acquiring the knowledge, it's not about just being educated or being learned, it's about also having the passion. So I feel whatever that I've talked about has spoken for different people's minds. I'll end here. Expect more from me. I'll be posting, but I'll end here for now.